If beyond earthly wont, the flame of love illume me, so that I o'ercome thy power of vision, marvel not, but learn the cause in that perfection of the sight, which soon as apprehending, hasteneth on to reach the good it apprehends. I well discern, how in thine intellect already shines the light eternal, which to view alone ne'er fails to kindle love, and if aught else your love seduces, 'tis but that it shows some ill-marked vestige of that primal beam. This wouldst thou know, if failure of the vow by other service may be so supplied, as from self-question to assure the soul. Thus she her words, not heedless of my wish, began, and thus, as one who breaks not off discourse, continued in her saintly strain. Supreme of gifts, which God creating gave of his free bounty, sign most evident of goodness, and in his account most prized, was liberty of will, the boon wherewith all intellectual creatures, and them soul he hath endowed. Hence now thou mayst infer of what high worth the vow, which so is framed that when man offers, God well pleased accepts, for in the compact between God and him, this treasure, such as I describe it to thee, he makes the victim, and of his own act. What compensation therefore may he find? If that, whereof thou hast oblation made, by using well thou thinkst to consecrate, thou wouldst of theft do charitable deed. Thus I resolve thee of the greater point. But forasmuch as Holy Church, herein dispensing, seems to contradict the truth I have discovered to thee, yet behooves thou rest a little longer at the board, ere the crude aliment, which thou hast taken, digested fitly to nutrition turn. Open thy mind to what I now unfold, and give it inward keeping. Knowledge comes of learning well retained, unfruitful else. This sacrifice in essence of two things consisteth, one is that, whereof tea is made, the covenant the other. For the last, it ne'er is cancelled if not kept, and hence I spake erewhile so strictly of its force. For this it was enjoined the Israelites, though leave were given them, as thou knowst, to change the offering, still to offer. Th other part, the matter and the substance of the vow, may well be such, to that without offence it may for other substance be exchanged. But at his own discretion none may shift the burden on his shoulders, unrelieved by either key, the yellow and the white. Nor deem of any change, as less than vain, if the last bond be not within the new included, as the cotter in the six. No satisfaction therefore can be paid for what so precious in the balance weighs, that all in counterpoise must kick the beam. Take then no vow at random, ta'en, with faith preserve it, yet not bent, as Jephthah once, blindly to execute a rash resolve, whom better it had suited to exclaim, I have done ill, than to redeem his pledge by doing worse, or, not unlike to him in folly, that great leader of the Greeks, whence, on the altar, Iphigenia mourned her virgin beauty, and hath since made mourn both wise and simple, even all, who hear of so fell sacrifice. Be ye more staid, O Christians, not, like feather, by each wind removable, nor think to cleanse ourselves in every water. Either testament, the old and new, is yours, and for your guide the shepherd of the church let this suffice to save you. When by evil lust enticked, remember ye be men, not senseless beasts, nor let the Jew, who dwelleth in your streets, hold you in mockery. Be not, as the lamb, that, fickle wanton, leaves its mother's milk, to dally with itself in idle play. Such were the words that Beatrice spake, these ended, to that region, where the world is liveliest, full of fond desire she turned. Though mainly prompt new question to propose, her silence and chond look did keep me dumb. And as the arrow, ere the cord is still, leapeth unto its mark, so on we sped into the second realm. There I beheld the dame, so joyous enter, that the orb grew brighter at her smiles, and, if the star were MOV to gladness, what then was my cheer, whom nature hath made apt for every change? As in a quiet and clear lake the fish, if aught approach them from without, do draw towards it, deeming it their food, so drew full more than thousand splendors towards us, and in each one was heard, lo! One arrived to multiply our loves, and as each came the shadow, streaming forth effulgence new, witnessed augmented joy. Here, reader, think, if thou didst miss the sequel of my tale, to know the rest how sorely thou wouldst crave, and thou shalt see what vehement desire possessed me, as soon as these had met my view, to know their state. O born in happy hour! Thou to whom grace vouchsafes, or ere thy close of fleshly warfare, to behold the thrones of that eternal triumph, know to us the light communicated, which through heaven expatiates without bound. Therefore, if aught thou of our beams wouldst borrow for thine aid, spare not, and of our radiance take thy fill. Thus of those piteous spirits one bespake me, and Beatrice next, say on, and trust is unto God's. How in the light supreme thou harbour'st, and from thence the virtue bring'st, that, sparkling in thine eyes, denotes thy joy, embark, but, who thou art, am still to seek, or wherefore, worthy spirit? For thy lot this sphere assigned, that oft from mortal ken is veiled by others' beams. I said, and turned toward the lustre, that with greeting, kind erewhile had hailed me. Forthwith brighter far than erst, it waxed, and, as himself the sun hides through excess of light, when his warm gaze hath on the mantle of thick vapours prayed, within its proper ray the saintly shape was, through increase of gladness, thus concealed, and, shrouded so in splendour answered me, e'en as the tenor of my song declares.